So they have directly given 2,08,500 as installment, which has to be paid continuously 4 years. Here you are not going to calculate depreciation because we are going to prepare accounts in the books of hire seller. In order to record the entries in ledger account, you have to know the journal entries. This interest has to be transferred to profit and loss account. Hello everyone, I am Harshita, lecturer, Department of Commerce, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. My dear students, today we are in the 5th session of Unit 2 of the subject Financial Accounting 1, and this is for first sem BCom student. So your Unit 2 is all about accounting for hire purchase system. So my dear students, in a previous session we have already discussed few of the concepts relating to hire purchase system. So let us quickly recall what we have discussed in a previous session. So in a previous session we have seen this, that is journal entries in the books of hire seller. So before that we have learnt about journal entries in the books of hire purchaser, then how to prepare ledger accounts in the books of hire purchaser. Next, we learned how we are going to enter, that is how we are going to prepare journal entries in the books of hire seller. Then we had solved a problem on hire purchase system where we had to prepare journal entries in the books of hire seller. In today's session, we shall continue with a new topic. Today, we shall prepare ledger accounts in the books of hire seller. Now, go through the problem here. On 1st Jan 2012, on 1st Jan 2012, MYSURU Travels purchased 2 motor cars costing rupees 4,50,000 each. Now, who is MYSURU Travels? So, here they are called as what? Hire purchaser, because they have purchased what? They have purchased 2 motor cars, and what is the cost of each car? 4,50,000 from Vijay Motors. Now, who is Vijay Motors? So, here Vijay Motor is hire seller because he has sold that car to MYSURU Travels under hire purchase basis. So, here these two parties are having a hire purchase agreement where Vijay Motors have sold goods to whom MYSURU Travels on hire purchase system. The terms of payment were, now let us see what is the total cash price of the car. So, what is the total cash price? So, the total cash price of the car is, that is motor car is, so how much motor car they have purchased? They have purchased how much? 2 motor cars, each costing 4,50,000. So, 4,50,000 into 2, so we'll get 9 lakh. So, this is the total cash price of the car, that is rupees 9 lakh. Clear? Next, what they have done? 25% of the cash value is to be paid as down payment. Now, out of this 9 lakh, so out of this 9 lakh, on the delivery of the motor car, so they have paid 25% of this total cash price. That is 25% of the total cash price has been paid by whom? By the hire purchaser. So, that is known as what? Down payment. That is on the delivery of the motor car, they have paid 25% of the cash price, which is known as down payment. So, 9 lakh into 25%. So, 9 lakh into 25%. So, we'll get 2,25,000. Now, what is this 2,25,000? This is down payment. What is the total cash price of the car? That is, this is cash price. How much? 9 lakh, out of which they have paid 2,25,000 as down payment on the delivery of the car. So, the remaining amount to be paid is 6,75,000. So, this has to be paid by who? By the hire purchaser in the form of installment. Now, let us see. So, we have read out the first adjustment, that is 25% of the cash value is to be paid as down payment. So, 25% is nothing but 2,25,000 they have paid. Next, balance amount, that is remaining balance amount 6,75,000 is to be paid in 4 equal annual installment of rupees 2,08,500 on 31st December every year. Now, whether this is inclusive of interest or not. So how to find this? So what they have told, balance amount is to be paid in 4 equal installment. So they have not given the principal amount, they have directly given the installment amount. So what is installment? So installment is equal to principal plus interest, right? So they have directly given 2,08,500 as installment, which has to be paid continuously 4 years. So Vijay Motors charge interest at 10% per annum. So what is the rate of interest? So as I told you, along with the principal amount, in order to get an installment, so we have to add principal plus interest. So this interest has to be taken into consideration. Now how to check this 2,08,500 is inclusive of interest or not, because they have directly given the installment, right? So whether that installment includes interest or not. Now let us see. Now what is the total installment they have to pay? 2,08,500. So how many years? That is in 4 installment. If we multiply, we'll get 8,34,000. Okay. Now add down payment. So when you add down payment, because they have already paid, right? Let us see whether this amount what we are getting is more than the cash price or less than the cash price. If it is more than cash price, then it is inclusive of interest. If it is less than the cash price, then, or if it is equal to cash price, then it is exclusive of interest. Now how much is the down payment? 2,25,000, that is 25%. So how much will get? Here it is 9, 5. So 10,59,000. Now see, so when we multiply the installment, so we got 10,59,000. But what is the total cash price of the motor car? That is how much? 9 lakh. So 9 lakh is the total cash price of the car. So if you compare these two, so what happens here? The cash price, so the value what we got, that the installment amount what we got is more than the cash price. It means what? It is inclusive of interest, because our cash price is only 9 lakh, but what we got 10,59,000. In the sense, it is inclusive of interest. Hope you are clear with the problem. Now what they have given here, there are two parties, that is hire purchaser as well as hire seller. Here hire purchaser is Mayuri Travels and hire seller is Vijay Motors. And this Mayuri Travels, that is hire purchaser, have purchased 2 motor cars costing 4,50,000. So what is the total cash price of the car? 4,50,000 into 2, so 9 lakh will get. That is the total cash price of the car. Next, the terms of payment were 25% of the cash value is to be paid as down payment. So what they have told, 25% of the total cash price has to be paid in the form of down payment. That is on the delivery of motor car, we have to make 25% payment. So when you multiply, that is 9 lakh into 25%, so how much you'll get? 2,25,000. So 2,25,000 is what? It is down payment. So the remaining amount to be paid is how much? 6,75,000. Now what they have told, balance amount is to be payable in 4 equal installments of rupees 2,08,500. Now they have directly given the installment amount. Clear? So earlier what you used to do, so the remaining amount will be distributed by 4 installments. So we used to get principal amount, right? But here what they have did, they have directly given the installment amount of 2,08,500. Now we don't know whether it is inclusive of interest or exclusive of interest. So what you have to do? So what they have told, 2,08,500 has to be paid in 4 equal installment. Right? So multiply with 4, 2,08,500 into 4, so you'll get 8,34,000. Next, the down payment what you have made, we have to add that down payment. So 2,25,000. So total is how much? 10,59,000. Now, if you compare the cash price and the installment amount, so we'll come to know this installment amount is more than the cash price. It means what? It is inclusive of interest. Vijay Motors charge interest at 10% per annum. So they have told we have to charge interest at 10% per annum. Prepare necessary ledger accounts in the books of hire seller. So here we are going to prepare ledger accounts in the books of hire seller. Before that, we shall see this table. So we shall calculate, then we can directly post them to ledger accounts. Now, so we have divided into date, particulars, amount, principal, interest and installment. Here you are not going to calculate depreciation because we are going to prepare accounts in the books of hire seller, right? So the seller have already delivered the goods or transferred the goods to hire purchaser. So the asset will not remain in the hands of hire seller. So no need to calculate the depreciation. Now asset is in the hands of hire purchaser, right? So hire purchaser has to calculate the depreciation. But in this problem, we are going to take into consideration only hire seller. So no need to calculate the depreciation. Now, what is the purchase date? 1st Jan 2012. So 1/1/12. So cash price. So what is the cash price of the car? So they have purchased 4,50,000. That is of, and each car they have purchased 2 cars of value 4,50,000. So what is the cash price? 4,50,000 into 2. So I'll get 9 lakhs. So this is a cash price. Less down payment, that is they have told 25%. So 9 lakh into 25%. So how much you'll get? That is 2,25,000. Next, what is the total amount payable? So total amount payable. So when you deduct, so the total amount payable is 6,75,000. Now we shall go through. Now we know what is the amount to be paid. Now we shall go through the first installment, and this remaining amount, that is 6,75,000, has to be paid in 4 equal installment along with 9% interest. Now go through the end of that particular year. So first installment is paid at the end of that financial year. So it is purchased on 1/1/2012. End of 2012 is how much? 31/12/2012. We are making the first installment. Now here what they have done. So we cannot record all this before writing the installment because they have directly given the installment amount how much? 2,08,500. So here they have told we are going to make the installment amount how much? 2,08,500 every year. So write the installment first. It is 2,08,500. Now calculate interest. So what is the amount payable in the first year? 6,75,000 into 10% interest. Right? So it is 10% interest. So we'll get 67,500. Now what you have to do? 2,08,500 minus 67,500 will get the principal amount. How much? 1,41,000. Clear about the first year? Since the installment is directly given. So if the principal is given, then principal plus interest will get the installment. Clear? But they have directly given the installment. So installment minus interest will get the principal amount. Now come to the second year. So second installment is paid at the end of second year. That is 31st December 2013. We are making the second installment. So now, so the amount payable in the first year was 6,75,000. We have paid 1,41,000 in the first year. So the remaining amount to be paid in the second year is how much? 5,34,000. Now directly come to the installment. We know installment is 2,08,500. Now calculate the interest. So what is the amount payable in the second year? 5,34,000 into 10% interest. So we'll get 53,400. Now installment minus interest. So we'll get the principal amount. So what is the principal? 1,55,100. Now clear about the second year, that is second installment. Now come to the third installment that has to be paid at the end of the third year, that is 31st December 2014. We are making the third installment. Now what you have to do here? So they have directly given the installment amount. Write that installment amount. Now calculate the interest. So what is the amount payable in the third year? So in the second year it was 5,34,000, out of which we have paid 1,55,100. So deduct this. So you'll get 3,78,900 to be paid in the third year. Now calculate interest. So the amount payable is 3,78,900 into 10%. So we'll get 37,890. Now how to calculate the principal? installment minus interest is equal to principal. So deduct this, that is 2,08,500 minus 37,890. So you'll get 1,70,610. Now come to the fourth year installment. So it is paid on which date? End of the fourth year, that is 31st December 2015. We are making the fourth installment. Now what is the amount payable in the fourth year? So in the third year it was 3,78,900 minus we have made the principal, or we have to deduct the principal amount, that is 1,70,610. So we will get 2,08,290. So 2,08,290. So this is the amount payable in the beginning of the fourth year. So my dear students, be careful in the fourth year. So how to calculate interest here? So here interest will be the difference between installment amount as well as the amount payable. So no need to apply the percentage and calculate. So what you have to do? So the remaining amount, the amount payable at the end of the, or at the beginning of the fourth year is how much? 2,08,290, right? So what is the fourth year installment? 2,08,500. So difference between this installment amount and amount payable will be your interest. So no need to calculate 10% interest. So the difference amount will be your interest. So what is the difference? 2,08,500 minus 2,08,290. So you'll get a difference of 210. So this is the interest in that particular year. So why we are not calculating percentage? Because they have directly given the installment amount, that is inclusive of interest. So what we have to do? So fourth year we have to adjust. So how to adjust? We have to take the difference between installment amount as well as amount payable at the end of fourth year. So when you take the difference, it is 2,08,500 minus 2,08,290. So you'll get a difference of 210. Now as usual, installment minus interest is a what? Principal. So this is principal amount. Next, so at the end of fourth year, the amount payable will be 0. Because in the fourth year, the amount payable is 2,08,290 and you have paid this principal amount. So the amount payable at the end of fourth year will be 0. So they have already paid. Next, we shall prepare ledger accounts in the books of hire seller. Here, hire seller is Vijay Motors. Clear? Now, how to prepare ledger accounts in the books of hire seller? Here, we are going to prepare only two accounts, that is hire purchasers account as well as interest account. No need to record or no need to prepare depreciation account because asset is not there in the business. So no need to prepare depreciation account as well as asset account. So once the asset has been sold, so since asset is not there in the business, so no need to prepare asset account. Only two accounts are prepared, that is hire purchasers account as well as interest account. So this type of simple problem can be asked for 10 marks in your examination. In order to record the entries in ledger account, you have to know the journal entries. So which is the first entry in order or in the books of hire seller, that is for selling of the asset. Next, second entry is for receiving the down payment. Third entry is for interest due. Fourth entry is for installment received. And the fifth entry is for transferring interest to profit and loss account. So these are the 5 entries which comes in the first year. Now first we shall record the first entry, that is selling of the asset. So when asset is sold by the hire seller, so what is the entry? Hire purchaser account data to asset account. So here we are going to prepare hire purchaser account. Now who is the hire purchaser? MYSURU Travels. So we are going to prepare MYSURU Travels account. So what is the entry? Hire purchaser account data to asset account. Now on the date, so when did they sell the asset? When did the hire seller sell the asset? That is on 1/1/2012. So your entry will be MYSURU Travels account data to motor car account. So we have, this is for selling of asset. So this entry is for selling of asset. So the asset is sold at rupees how much? 9 lakh. That is, they have sold 4,50,000 worth asset. That is, they have sold 2 motor car having or costing 4,50,000. So 4,50,000 into 2, so you'll get 9 lakh. And the second entry is for what? Receiving the down payment. So they have received 25% of the down payment, right? So what is the entry? Bank account data to hire purchaser account. So 1/1/2012, that is on the date of purchase, he has received the amount. So by bank account 2,25,000. So this is 25% of amount, that is down payment. Next, third entry is for what? Interest due. So what is the entry? Hire purchaser account data to interest account. So when we are going to record this entry at the end of that financial year, 31/12/2012, to interest account. So what is the first year interest? That is 67,500. Record this 67,500. Next, what we are going to do? We are receiving, or the hire seller is receiving installment amount, that is end of the financial year 31/12/2012 by bank account. So when the installment is received, so what is the entry? Bank account data to hire purchaser account. So how do you record here? By bank account, that is receiving of installment amount. Now go through the table. What is the first installment? It is 2,08,500. So record this amount. Now as usual, balance both the side and the balancing figure has to be carried down. So your total of debit side is 9,67,500. So this is the total, and coming to the credit side, so you have a balancing figure of 5,34,000. So write total both the side, that is 9,67,500 minus 2,25,000 minus 2,08,500. You'll get a balancing figure of 5,34,000, and this amount has to be carried down for the next year. That is at the end of the financial year 31/12/2012, by balance carried down how much? 5,34,000. So we are done with the first year. Now come to the second year. So what are the entries to be recorded in the second year? Whether we have to record entry for selling of asset? No, it has done in the first year, right? No need to record entry for down payment, receiving of down payment. So next entry is for interest due. Next, installment received and transfer of interest to profit and loss account. So only these three entries has to be recorded. Now come to the second year. So whatever the amount you have carried down in the previous year, that is on 31/12/2012, has to be brought down. So 1/1/2013, to balance brought down 5,34,000. Next, for interest due. So what is the entry? Hire purchaser account data to interest account, that is on 31/12/2013, to interest account. So what is second year interest? 53,400. So write this 53,400 here. Next, receiving of installment amount, that is end of the financial year 31/12/2013, by bank account. So what is the second year installment? 2,08,500. So record this amount. Now as usual, you will balance. So if you balance the debit side, the total is 5,87,400. Whereas coming to the credit side, you get a balancing figure of 3,78,900. So this has to be carried down for the next year. That is end of 2013, 31/12/2013, by balance carried down 3,78,900. Next, since the amount is paid in 4 installments, so we have to prepare ledger accounts for 4 years. So whatever the amount you have carried down in the previous year, you have to brought down. So 1/1/2014, to balance brought down 3,78,900. Next, for interest due, in third year also you will not have for selling of the asset as well as receiving down payment. Next is directly interest due. So what is the entry? Hire purchaser account data to interest account. So here hire purchaser is MYSURU Travels Limited. Clear? So hire purchaser account data to interest account. So at the end of 2014, 31/12/2014, to interest account. So what is third year in interest? It is 37,890. So record that, 37,890. Next, receiving of installment amount, 31/12/2014, by bank account. So what is third year installment? So here the installment remains same, 2,08,500. So 2,08,500. Next, as usual, you will balance both the side. When you add the debit side, you will get 4,16,790. Whereas coming to the credit side, you will get a balancing figure of how much? 2,08,290. So this balancing figure has to be carried down for the next year. That is right end of that financial year 31st/12/2014 by balance carried down 2,08,290. Now come to the last year, that is 1/1/2015. Whatever the amount you have carried down in the previous year, you have to brought down that amount to balance brought down 2,08,290. Next for interest due. So what is the entry? That is Mayuri Travels account data to interest account, that is end of that particular year 31st/12/2015 to interest account. So what is fourth year interest? Now go through the table 210. So this is fourth year interest. Record that. So 210. Now what you have to do? Receiving of installment amount. So what is the installment amount? That is 31st/12/2015. How much installment they have received? That is 2,08,500. Here the installment remains same every year, right? Because it is installment inclusive of interest. So if you see the installment at the fourth year, it's 2,08,500. So record that amount. When you balance both the side, you will get 2,08,500. Now we are done with making payment. That is, after the down payment, the amount payable has been divided into 4 installments and we have recorded in the ledger account. And the next account to be prepared is interest account. So I have told you here we are not going to prepare depreciation account because the hire seller have already sold the asset. So the asset is not there in the hands of hire seller. So no need to calculate depreciation. So depreciation will be charged by whom? By the hire purchaser. Now interest account. So for interest due, what is the entry? Hire purchaser account data to interest account. So how do you record in your interest account? That is end of the financial year 31st/12/2012 by Mayuri Travels account. So who is Mayuri Travel? Hire purchaser. So my dear students, if you know the journal entry, it's enough. You can directly record the entries in your ledger accounts. So here for interest due, we are going to record the entry, right? So what is the entry? Hire purchaser account data to interest account. So how do you record in your interest account? By hire purchaser. Here hire purchaser is Mayuri Travels account. So what is first year interest? So first year interest is how much? 67,500. So record that 67,500. Now, so this interest has to be transferred to profit and loss account. So what are the entry to be prepared in the books of hire seller? One is for selling of asset. Second entry is for receiving the down payment. Third entry is for interest due, what we have recorded. Next, fourth entry is for installment received and the fifth entry is for transfer of interest to profit and loss account. So what is the entry? If interest is transferred to profit and loss account, interest account data to profit and loss account. So that is 31st December 2012 to profit and loss account, transfer this 67,000. So whatever the amount which is there in interest, that has to be transferred to profit and loss account. So when you balance, you will get the total 67,500, both debit and credit side. In the same way for second year, 31st/12/2013 by Mayuri Travels. That is for interest due. What is the entry? Hire purchaser account data to interest account. Here hire purchaser is Mayuri Travels. So by Mayuri Travels account. So what is the second year interest? That is 53,400. So 53,400, transfer that 53,400 to profit and loss account. So to profit and loss account 53,400. So we'll get total 53,400. Now coming to the third year, same way, 31st/12/2014 by Mayuri Travels account. What is third year interest? That is 37,890. Transfer that. So transfer 37,890. Now transfer that interest to profit and loss account. So to profit and loss account 37,890. That is end of the financial year. Now come to the last year interest due. So 31st/12/2015 by Mayuri Travels account. What is last year interest? That is 210. So transfer that. So 210. that amount has to be transferred to profit and loss account. So you'll get the total of 210 interest. So this is for interest due and transferring that interest to profit and loss account. So this is a simple problem where you can expect for 10 marks, where you have to prepare ledger accounts in the books of hire seller. Whereas hire purchaser, so if the ledger account is prepared, or they have asked in order to prepare ledger account in the books of hire purchaser, you might get it for 15 marks because it is quite lengthy. Whereas for hire seller, we have to prepare only 2 accounts. One is hire purchaser's account as well as interest account. And it is a very easy problem also, and always be careful with that table. So if you know how to prepare that table, so this posting will be very easy. So in my next session, I am going to solve a problem on hire purchase system where cash price of the asset is not given. Till now, we have discussed problem where they had given the cash price. Right? For example, in this problem, they have told that they have purchased 2 motor car worth rupees 4,50,000. So how we used to calculate the cash price? 4,50,000 into 2. So the total is 9 lakh. But in next session, we are going to solve a problem where they are not giving the cash price, but we have to prepare journal entries in the books of hire purchaser, or they might ask journal entries in the books of hire seller, and even the ledger accounts they might ask, but they will not give the cash price in the problem. So we shall see in my next session how we are going to solve this type of problem. So my dear students, hope you have understood the problem. See you all in my next session. Till then, take care. Thank you.